Mike Costello is here unloading his van and his mandatory trophy. Let's see how many names are on here. Mike Costello! Oh! Mike! Mike! I didn't know you were a oh! Out of the cup comes the Bellamy. All right. Are we going to see some action today?
Dust drag for
action today?
No, I'm CDing today, so I haven't got time to preoccupy myself with things like
Still looks good. Still looks good.
Yeah, it still needs to get buffed out.
I think you should hire Kajeski to do it.
It's nothing like hiring stuff out.
Oh, I like hiring stuff out. With your money, especially.
That must be a ballerina.
I want to get the real story. Cooper, I want the real story from OnStar Jacobone. You can't believe it. These guys, this guy Mike Cooper, and they buddy up to drive up to the Mass Cup. Now, if I'm wrong, interrupt at any time.
I certainly will, and
okay.
I'm sure you're going to be
Then
wrong.
the story is they drive for 3 hours, each one thinking the other one knows how to get to where they're going. When Rich OnStar Jacobone decides he's going to pull over and ask the state police.
No,
you can pick up the story from there.
I decided to ask directions from a gas station.
Oh!
And he said to me,
who didn't speak English?
Precisely, you got to go back. So we started going back.
Oh my God, you guys are unbelievable.
Exit 6 or so. So we went back to exit 6. The only problem was we had a Massachusetts map. And we weren't.
And you were in right on it.
I found out that this was a Massachusetts.
You can't make this up.
Okay.
Mike, you can't make this up.
The guy said to me, this is a Massachusetts map. I don't know where I'm going.
First you got to check to see if you're in the United States. You guys might have been in Canada or something.
I thought Mike knew where fucking the map he had. He has a little hand drawn.
Oh God. Oh my God. Read about it in Stunt. Hey Rich, all I can say is read about it in Stunt News. Karen and I wrote it up in detail with your wife's help. I don't have anything to add to Rich's story. He said you were the one that was at fault.
Center line of the air.
We did? Oh
No
man.
comment.
No comment. Oh man. These guys can't find a contest. They can't find a pair of shoes in a shoe store. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, it looks like we got a beauty of a day going here. And since I'll be judging, I don't know how much good quality footage I can get here, but got to rub elbows with some of the people we haven't seen in a while. Rich OnStar Jacobone, I love it. I can't wait to see if they publish it in Stunt News. Need directions to any meet, including the Nationals? Just dial up 1-800 OnStar Jacobone. Do you believe? I can believe these guys. That's unreal. And Peabody asked them, "Do you want me to fax you a map?" Nah, I don't need it. Sure, it's exit 5. They were just in the wrong state. That was the only problem. Oh my God. Well, you got the weather of the century here, baby. It was nice yesterday too. We're out here 4-stroking our lungs away. We got the Sato almost done run in. I want to get a couple more, maybe another half gallon of fuel through it, and then we'll be shoehorning it into a plane this week. Sure, I can tell where I'm doing it. Carl McLean's got me off guard here. Anyway, good to see the nostalgia planes, the old-time stunt planes. keeping with the spirit of the day, I see a beautifully restored with 57 Chevy here. One of my favorite planes of all time, the Cobra, Steve Woolley's Cobra. I should say the late Steve Woolley Cobra. What a beauty. And Tom has done an excellent rendition of that ship. Excellent right down to the paint job. And boy, what nice, temperature's nice, air's nice. Looks like you're going to have a killer day here.
If you haven't registered, please come to the registration table.
So how big's this Typhoon going to be?
Big. Throttle control. Sato 70.
I went back and looked at the rules. I can't see anything that says anything about throttle.
If it isn't in the rules, then it isn't.
Yeah. The only thing, you had one called the Stunt Rocket.
Right. Warren Tiart had a stunt rocket. I flew that in the 90 Nationals.
And the other one called the Little Blue Angel, which he originally built it with a 32-inch wingspan.
Really?
And a Fox 16. But he wrote in the article, go ahead and blow it up 2 times and make it into a quote-unquote man-sized airplane.
A windy side slip. Yeah.
And it had a drop-away landing gear. And it skid. You know, I go back and read the rule book, and they said, no, you can't have that. You can't have the landing gear drop
The
off.
parts can't come off the plane in flight. That's the rule, as far as I know.
Yeah. And
well, maybe we'll make this Typhoon with some bombs and rockets that can come off.
yeah.
The judges don't give you a good score. You just fly over them and rocket them. Me some stuff too.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go Robert.
Oh yeah. Oh! Hey! Show off!
Is that a roughie? Or is that a full-bodied?
I can't tell. Look.
Is that a flight streak? Full-bodied flight streak?
Perfect landing.
Yeah, it looks like a flight streak.
In.
Hey! All right.
Oh, you too, Daddy.
Hey, Banjack, I see a classic fly-off somewhere later in the day after the contest for money. Your money.
I'll give you a choice. You can take the Cobra, and I'll fly the Crusader, or I'll fly the Cobra, and you fly the Crusader.
I'll hold off.
Okay.
I'll hold off.
Can I
have everyone's attention, please?
But
First of all, thank you for coming. We want to cover a couple of safety issues. If you're flying on long lines, we will accommodate you on the back circle. The back circle is for classic, intermediate, and advanced expert. We'll fly intermediate first, and then advanced expert on the back circle. And that's the circle that accommodates the longer line.
El Diablo. Fits right. Well, I'll swap you then. You could put the 72 in there for a couple days if you want.
Well, what I'm telling you is that the
Most qualified judges in the world, Rich Jacobone and Wendy Artnowski, will be judging this this very serious event that we have going on here. He's trying to sneak in here with a Strega into the classic event. I don't know, Rich. And obviously we will not be getting a lot of video of this event because we'll be judging. So they got a good turnout in classic. Maybe 18 entries altogether. 3 classes, and we get to sit out here all day. It's a joy. See how nice and clean the pad is, Bri?
yeah, I know, I seen that.
Yeah, Torchman torched it yesterday.
Circle burner.
A circle burner is exact. Even the grass, look at how he torched the grass around the edge of the circle. We ought to call him Torchman Kajeski. if you flip 4-strokes without an electric starter. You get to do that once, and then you run out and buy an electric starter, right?
It's called Triumph Motorcycle.
Flipping a Triumph motorcycle by hand. Who needs Brodak dope when you have mop and glow? Point spending all that time buffing and polishing when you got a nice big jar of that. What is that, industrial furniture wax or something? Oh man. The pride of a modeler in his models. Guy who comes prepared. Look at McLean's bringing a minivan here. Look at the size of this toolbox. You leave anything home, Tom? Look at the size of this box. I thought Damerel brought an SUV. You can get the SUV model with like Firestone tires and everything on here. Look at this. Use an electric starter. Now I hope this doesn't bother you that I'm going to videotape the flight while I'm judging. I'll call out the numbers. Zambelli can... Look at this guy. What are you eating? What are you, Mario Perillo today?
No, Dan's going to be eating this while he's flying, so it's okay.
Hey, they're starting to line up the flight of 4-strokes when this day is over, Dan. You've got them brainwashed, I'm telling you.
Hey, Bob's been doing all.
Yeah, I see you got Saunders biting at the bit here.
I think he flew your Red Baron with that engine, and he says, "Oh man," he says, "I like this."
Wait till he flies tradition.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait till he flies tradition. We'll have him biting at the bit.
Okay, let's see.
All right, you're the only 4-stroke in this class, so I'm just going to point blank give you first place.
No, I'm 4-stroke too. I got my little Mustang.
Oh, you guys can fight it out then. I don't want to hear these 2-strokes. You're giving me a headache.
Let's see, full ounce,
Oh,
ran
what a...
out of gas in the overhead in old times.
And I'm judging by the muffler. Is
Then the exhaust pipe fell off.
The pipe fell off and hit the judge last week.
It's somewhere in the woods at Middlesex.
After a perfect round one, as a reward for being a good judge all day, they're going to allow Rich Jacobone to take a flight. Actually, this is really a nice day. Turned out to be a great day, in fact. I've selected Tom McLean's plane as the next recipient of the John DeTavio Spirit of whatever year it is, 54, 64, 92, I'm not sure. Tom McLean's beautiful Cobra.
Aero Modeler magazine.
Oh.
76. Yeah, it was pretty looking.
Cool.
Yeah. And then he had another one. The Indigo.
I remember that one.
I like that. That's all in blue.
This is nice.
That's a very classy shape. What got me was the cover. Make us as a young man.
Yeah. Hey, you're an old fart right now, like all of us are. Get used to it, old man. You'll be on crutches soon.
Denny has been hobnobbing with Klaus. So, Klaus is trying to improve Angelo's table manners.
It's got a lot of improvement. Did Zambelli bring the Red Baron and all the accoutrements?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, we're ready to fire up some 4-strokes as soon as this meet is over with.
Ready to rock and roll.
Ready to fire them up. Let them run.
They said this is 3 ounces later than the 70.
Yeah, it is.
70.
It is. I put on a skip.
That's not a real big engine.
Now, what he said to do, I didn't know that you're supposed to do, is run this into the muffler.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want it. Boy, there's a lot of stuff comes out of there too. Oh, here's the king. Oh, Brodak candy. Tell me that doesn't look nice, Danny. Brodak candy apple dope. Oh. Brodak. All right.
Can I take a flight?
Yeah, well, wait till Jacobone's flying, then you fly.
You got fuel there?
I got fuel, yeah, use my stuff.
How new is that?
Pick it up, Dan. Show him the bottom.
Wow, man, that's pretty. That's real pretty.
That header remind you of the 91 plane?
Good Lord. What's this? I don't know. The guy just brought it here.
You'll like the way this runs, Tom, I'm sure.
What engine's that? Super tight. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I understand he's not happy with it. Now he wants to go 4-stroke.
He wants his cake and eat it too.
He gets this thing all done. Now I gotta have a 4-stroke.
All right, we're on our now infamous Judge lunch break with Rich OnStar. I'll give anybody directions that'd be dumb enough to listen to me. And since Rich and I are judging, we get to take a flight on a judge break. And it is really nice here, unbelievable. Rich running a Jet 60 and a Windy Pipe. I think Mike Kajeski's going to take a flight too with the Tiger 60 and a Windy Pipe. And when the day's over, we're going to try to play Rent-A-Plane again, get some test pilots going. We really give Rich a hard time about getting lost in Connecticut. It turns out that was a 7.5-hour trip. The trip to nowhere. It's like the cruise. We used to have these Mario Perillo cruises where the boat just went out in the harbor and went around in circles and then came back to dock. Well, we have the Rich Jacobone cruise. You get in your car, you drive through 3-4 states, totally lost, no clue where you are or where you're going. With a name like OnStar, he's got to be good. You just reach up and press his nose when you want directions. I can't believe it is true though. And there's another true story I'll never tell on video about me going to a contest in Pennsylvania, a 3.5-hour ride from here. And I get there and there's nobody on the field. I'm the only one there at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I looked at the flyer and it was the next weekend. So I took 2 flights, the cops kicked me out, and that was the end of the day. Another 3.5-hour ride home. Gotta learn to have a sense of humor about this stuff. Anyway, we are really having a nice day. Looks like the whole 4-stroke contingent is here from Pennsylvania. 2 of them are flying in the contest with the little 4-strokes, Danny and Zambelli. And they got the Red Baron here. John Saunders is hot to trot to fly the red plane with the Max. Brian has his 56 Sato here. We don't have it in a plane yet, but before the week's over, we'll have Brian Sato in a plane. And boy, we get a couple more days like this, we may get some of this stuff sorted out. Again, thanks to Don Dixon for being so good about getting that motor so quickly. Had it overnight expressed in. We really appreciate it because we are on limited borrowed time here before we go into full building mode. And I'm guessing that's about a week, 2 weeks the most from now. We already have the heat on in the house and things like that that usually indicate it's time to start building. That wing mold is sitting home ready to, I guess another couple of days of work on that and we'll be ready to lay out a wing. So many neat new things in the hobby, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable time to be alive and have a great time. I don't think there's ever been a better time. As long as you leave room for everybody doing their own thing. We hope very soon we'll be seeing some Strega kits or have a firm date for the people that have already ordered one. I know John Brodak does his best to meet the deadline. Obviously, a lot of it is always a little bit out of your own personal control. But it's coming soon, this Strega kit. Expect we're going to see some of them with some 4-strokes too before the year is out. candy apple dope test plane just sitting here glistening in the sun. Cup of coffee, and I'm hoping it spills. I'm telling you, it is so bad. They definitely have the record for the worst coffee. I would give anything right now for a cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee. At any price. Price is no object. I know they reheated this from last year. I think they've been saving it in some container over there. Rich Jacobone, the official co-judge of the Nostalgia event. Mike Kajeski, famous. I mean, world famous for Stooges. Now, I know people like Don Dixon and Don Merrill are waiting for Stooges. I have a list home. We're going to be making them soon. We're going to set up the garage to do the woodworking part of it and try to crank out a bunch of them. So, if you're on the waiting list or want to be on a waiting list for a Stooge, keep in mind Mike has a real full-time job, and because he's in construction, has to make Stooges while the sun shines. Unlike me, where I can hide in the cellar and make molds all summer. I don't know. What a beautiful day. Everybody's impressed with this Brodak candy apple paint. Well, the sight of the beautiful solid lines glistening in the sun. Mike Kajeski. Hey, Bri, can you get the score sheets and have them announced that at 1:30 we're going to start? Well, tell Peabody, because you don't want to waste a whole day like this. I want to get round 2 in here. Apologize to the guys who usually want to see their flights, the old-time stunt flights or whatever, or the nostalgia flights. Hey, when it's your turn in the barrel, and obviously today is my turn in the barrel, they're going to poison me with that coffee, though. We need some Dunkin' Donut coffee. I gotta find some culprit here. Trade for a tune pipe or something, a couple of cups of coffee. Anyway, nice to know the motor I ran at the 91 Max and got a nice second place with this exact motor and a carbon copy of the pipe and the header. In fact, it is the header that was on the 91 plane. Nice to see it's still in the hobby entertaining people. Mike Kajeski. Tom McLean, you're up, baby! Tom McLean's really nice Crusader here. Now what they've done is taken my Sato 72 and shoehorned it into Ted's plane. Got any pull? 9.2. What do you think? If you want to learn, you got to be ready to pay the price. Holy hey, go for it. Play it. Let's go. Get the lines on it. Get out there. How do you think you learn about this stuff? You got to go fly to play. You got to put the lines on first.
Look what you went and did, man. The field
Circle flying, I could feel the ground shaking.
Now, did he, Ted, did this fit right into a 60 mount pattern?
Not really.
Well, you had to jink around a little bit, right?
Let's fly it.
Come on, fly it.
We're gonna fly it.
You don't learn about airplanes by sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
This will be our first. This is our first official Sato 72 test flight.
The case spacing is...
Yo!
What are you doing?
Wait, get Banjock, come on. You're supposed to be part of the four-stroke development team.
I'm not gonna hold this thing.
Yeah.
With one hand. Hold this.
Let's just get a ballpark reading. He wants to get hurt. He knows he's tough. Philly Flyers never use gloves. Whoa! Oh, it's safe, man! It's alive! It's alive! Okay. The first four-stroke. Still using the break-in fuel with the extra oil.
Never hopped off the ground that quick.
He's got it running rich. Did he dig with the needle?
Oh, we let him up for pressure. So we leaned the needle. I think he just
Yeah.
But he picks up over top.
No, you can use the regular fuel now. As soon as that gallon's done, we'll put regular fuel in it. Just let him run it on the break-in fuel. It's rich.
That's just you see all that smoke?
All right, so lean the needle in a little bit.
Dialed in. That should be fine.
Normally it's it just wants to.
The tank shim is out too. It's going rich inverted. That's okay.
Remember, this has a different Venturi center.
Yeah, right.
Remember, this Venturi is offset from the super center.
Okay. Yeah, we can't do one.
All right. It took them about an hour to shoehorn the motor in while we were flying off the nostalgia flights. And we're going to spend the rest of the day flying 4-strokes. The Red Baron's here, Tradition's here, and try to get this guy dialed in. There's a cost of doing development work,
What's next?
and Ted's just added to the bill.
Yes. You gotta try this.
all those props and throw it home.
Yeah, I know. Get the hot stuff, fix the damn thing. Got 3 hours left to fly here. We're gonna waste this day.
Ted, do you need to wipe anything down?
Kenya 53, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, as soon as Mike's done.
No, let them do the trophies. We got 3 hours to fly.
Well, yeah, but Mike's gonna fly after.
This ended. It was probably one of the nicest days we've ever had. Weather-wise, competition-wise, they had a lot of good competition, and a few of these crashes, a few of the Philly Flyers
Philly Flyer.
running out of gas.
We're going to be here show up here today. So I'll start by presenting the open members who participated.
Kick them up.
Second place is Paul.
I think
You gotta turn around to Mike. No, Mike's gotta kick you.
You gotta kick them. Kick them up. Kick them up. Kick them up.
Brian, you gotta step around.
First place was Brian Silverstein.
Hey!
Brian, not done.
A ceremonial boot.
And now you gotta walk through here.
Now you have to drink a gallon of fuel.
There you go.
Hey!
We want to get some pictures from that. So I'm gonna shake your right hand. I'm gonna give you. You take this. Wait, we're gonna get.
Smile at Wendy.
Put your hand on the trophy. There you go.
Wendy, I love you.
I like what you're thinking.
Yay!
Second
Great.
Good job. Right hand.
and first place, Christina Saunders.
Hey! Expert!
Christina.
Okay. All right. The next word we're going to do is Theater Classic. It was like Super Clown Day back there.
Yeah. Super.
Third place is Zach Schoonover.
Hey! You'll be a good politician someday. Hey!
Good job. Again.
Would you smile? Yeah, okay.
Smile! Wendy, I love you!
Wendy, stop. You're chasing.
Mary said she's going to start flying with her hand on her hip.
Woo!
Actually, I saw a young man fly with his hand on his hip to improve his scores.
catching on.
Brian Kiefer,
There he is.
where is he when we need him?
Okay, first, Beginner Classic. First
Get
place,
the duck
Christina
face.
Saunders.
Hey, I don't get a kiss when I win expert.
He's not now.
Get Peabody to kiss me. Ugh.
Where are you?
Okay, the awards for Old Time Stunt. I'd pay to see Phase 2.
I'd pay not to see it.
All right, third.
First place is a new hat.
Thank you, Mike.
Prove that you were here.
Right. Your wife really needs to know this information.
Congratulations.
Oh, boy, I got to get back into competing. Hey, hey, boot him up, boot him up. Oh, Al Gore would be proud of you.
Hey, young Daniel, congratulations. Thank you. We can't get pictures.
There you go.
John Saunders.
Perfect. Camera now.
We have a German Beislob here.
The ignition mason.
The next Pampa president, Bob Zambelli. Hey, all right. He's running for office.
That's really
Better picture.
Put a 4-stroke in everybody's chicken pot. Hi. Hey. Hey.
All right.
Hey, beat him up, Keith. Beat him up. Hey.
Ask him if he could drive the car home, too.
Make him pay for the pizza.
Next year.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Good,
Whoa! Whoa!
good deal.
Whoa!
That's wrong. That's definitely wrong.
I'd be re-adding this score tonight.
Gotta change this.
Turn around.
Boot him up.
Turn around.
Boot him up.
We're kicking you out.
Boot him up.
Wait, Marianne wanted to mention who wrote the 50-point rule.
Yeah, right. Peabody. All in favor of hanging Peabody from a tree. Hey!
All right, I got one more.
Hey!
Great job.
So good, we maybe even
Good winner.
next week.
We got a
I think she should run for the Senate in New York.
other trophy presentation, and I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about this because it's real special to me. The John DeTavio,
Listen up, everybody.
Listen up.
John DeTavio Award is presented to the airplane that most exemplifies the classic era. There were a lot of nice classic planes back there today. The one that we chose was done so close to fidelity that the pilot that built this plane went to the AMA Hall of Fame to find out a lot of facts and figures about, special little colors and trim things about this plane. This year it goes to Tom McLean.
Yay!
Hey! Speech! Speech!
And no feeding the poodle in that thing.
Whoa, yeah!
So what was it?
I didn't know you guys had this. This is
Well, you won it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's quite an honor to build an airplane in honor of Steve Woolley. The more I find out about that guy, the more I wish I could fly like he did.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Mary.
Yay!
Hey!
$5. That's all right. It's on your nickel.
But there's one more
You
thing.
got to bring it back
You have to
next
come
year.
back
You have to
again
come
next
back next
year.
year.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I've heard that before from military people.
I'll be back.
I'll be back, Arnold says.
We'll be back.
That's
Hey,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And the winner
This
is
is the 50-50?
8325.
I won.
I won.
07.
Uh-oh, that's a
No,
low one.
just 07. 507. 507.
It's a rig.
That's a low one. Okay, they're not here. Low one.
We have multiple buy slabs here. Everybody that's been around our contest knows what that means.
Now we've got 5, 6, 7.
07 to 5.
Hey! Peabody won. We got to have a photo op here for the big winner today. All right. As long as we're doing Tom McLean tribute here, we'll get the little tribute to Harold Price here. Still a beauty. Mike Costello's winner of, I think, last year's Spirit of 64 award, the ballerina. 99. All Brodak dope finish. Now that the contest is over, we've got more activity than when we had the contest. We have, looks like Ted's got the guy back together again. All right, another plane that's been busted in half, and we're just getting time on our motors. Is this now? This is
an OS-40.
OS-40, no muffler. Throttle, I see you got the throttle wide open.
Here you go, take a walk.
No, you take a walk.
I've flown it already.
I want to fly to Red Baron. Get somebody else to fly.
Red Baron then.
Fly to Red Baron.
You want to fly to Red Baron?
Let's fly to Red Baron. Red Baron, Red Baron.
I'm glad we got the video we did today on Mike Pajeski's plane, because unfortunately what happened is exactly what happened to me in 1988. Somebody flying on that circle, and this one the planes hit in midair and totally destroyed the plane. So we do have some video of it, and Mike has his the poster I made him for his daughter's birthday. Hey, Red Baron still flies good.
How do you like it compared to the Tiger 60?
I like that better. Wait till Zambelli flies the red plane. I want it, when you're done, I want to let Tom McLean fly the red plane and he can go. I think this was going back together. It's back together. And what has he got? A 14.5 Zinger. Let's see if they work. You didn't balance this, did you, Ted? Ah. Watch that line clip, Ted. You got one of these rinky-dink things that break. Oh, man.
They never broke it.
All right. Mr. Sato would like you to road test his engine.
We need you to do something.
We have no more props at the Sato factory, so...
We need you to do something. When
Yeah.
Frank McMillan said that Japanese fella flew dramatically,
Dramatically?
we need to send a picture of Ted flying something.
Ted
like
is
that
dramatic.
In high winds with that Merco. That's
true.
dramatic.
Dramatic.
Well, you know who? How about
His name is Ted D for Ted Dramatic.
A hurricane.
how about Joe Walsh? He's fly or
Mr.
Joe Wallace, he
Dramatic.
flies dramatic.
That's
All right?
scary.
He's pretty dramatic.
Yeah. I like the price tag on there too.
Yeah, that price tag makes it bad. Oh. Ted hasn't had a finger removed yet. But he will.
I like the way this thing bangs.
Oh, this is like stroking a Piper Cub. Sato recommends electric starters for you cowards. But he says, what can Windy know about stunt? What does he know about anything?
Old Three Fingers Wind.
Oh, Windy, fresh out of the surgery ward. All right. Look at this Chinese fire drill. You got no gas in the tank. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I think it's a carrier ship.
Tell you what, man, she gets right off the ground.
Still, Rich, you guys don't know how to set a needle valve.
Windy was horrible when we leaned it out.
All right, maybe the tank's way out of shim. That'll do it too.
Doing a little better than last flight.
Well, we'll find out. The tail hasn't come off yet. Like, hope that glue is dry. You gotta tape the hinge lines, Danny.
All right.
That'll definitely do it.
Take the hinge line, bring the top from our maneuver down.
Oh man, you were at 70 degrees.
Okay.
What is that about?
All right.
That thing was rocketing like a rocket ship. I mean, you got me ruined with this slow stuff.
See, that's that one-way pipe I got on there.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. Well, we'll fix you up with one before the day is over.
All right.
My 4-stroke pipe.
A lot better inverted than it was before.
Yeah. Well, you gotta see, he's got a plastic tank on there. I don't know how you could even shim that. You coward.
I know that bird. I built those things. True engine. It takes. For some reason, it's always been like that.
This thing has a little bit of a 2-4 brake. You believe that? Get up high, Ted. You have no down in these controls. Oh, man. Mush-o-matic, man.
I definitely got more overhead.
Because I know that the Tiger 60 is not that's the 4-stroke thing.
That's been great.
Danny, this is the first one I seen. It has like a 2-4 brake. This is cool as can be.
Not only that, that was about the nicest horizontal 8 I ever seen.
Wow, he might have some potential.
This is good too. Like people
Yeah.
in other countries say, hey,
It looks like the tail's coming off now. I think the tail's getting ready to come off. Oh no, it's just bending. Really?
Yeah.
What is that body made out of? Sheetrock? Van Jock's unique construction technology here. I'll tell you, it's the quietest of all of them. It's quieter than Zambelli's. It's definitely quieter than mine is.
I think the Spados may not have the power of the OS.
But they're quieter. Yeah, I like the friendly myself. Hey Danny, what do you think about putting my 91 in this plane? I think we should go all the way. This'll handle a 91.
Let's put the 91.
I think it'd pull it.
Okay, now all I want to do is make a little disclaimer here. I built this in 1985.
Before they invented glue?
Well, the bell crank is in there pretty good.
This isn't one of those cheesy 3-inch bell cranks, I hope.
But I tell you what, I did runs with the 60.
Whoa. Well, eventually the air got so bad and so dark, even Danny couldn't fly. Look at this, we got to back up to the moon. Whoa! Well, except for Mike's crash, it's been a great day. But it's time. And when it's time, it's time. Yeah, today we're up the club field. I know people all around the country have heard about Jersey mosquitoes, but let me give you an idea what a Jersey mosquito is like. See on this chair? Look at the size of these guys. Now, there's 2 of them on there right now. This is what we have. This is why people in Jersey have already died of Nile virus. These things carry the Nile virus, and they are everywhere here. We're at the end of their season, I guess. Anyway, unfortunately, Mike did lose his plane yesterday, and we don't know what we're going to do as far as repairing it, but I thought it would be a great time to just bring Mike up to the field and make him fly for a while. Problem is we're in some funky air. But we got a couple of things we want to try. One of them we wanted to try was we have a 14.5 Zinger. That's what's on the plane right now. Did a couple tests on this. And it looks like that's a ballpark prop because the problem is we just can't buy any more of the rev-ups. It's a constant problem trying to find rev-up 14.5s. It looks like the Zinger 14.5 is at least a reasonable replacement for it. And anyway, really, we have not figured a plan of how we're going to fix Mike's plane. Boy, that was an unexpected tragedy yesterday. And I'm so glad we have some video of it, and I have that poster again for, at least he'll have a memory of it, the way it was in all its grandeur. Anyway, but he is my primary test pilot, and we are going to spend the day. We have some more of the Merlin plugs. We've been going back and forth with the Merlin plugs, trying them in various engines under various conditions. So far, they certainly don't look, we haven't had one fail yet anyway, but you keep talking to four-stroke people and they keep telling you how important it is to have that number 4 max plug in there. Well, I'd like to know, and the only way I'm going to know is by testing it myself. And as I said, so far the Merlins have not failed. I can't see any difference in the way they run, so it might just be a question of how many gallons of fuel they last. We'll hopefully know at the end of the day. Ever heard of Jersey mosquitoes? There's a Jersey mosquito on a chair. What you're missing when you live in California or something, I guess. Look, there's another one up here. I mean, they're everywhere. You just can't go anywhere without seeing them. They're everywhere. They're on the bottom of the chair. They're on the top of the chair. And this is what we wrestle with here at the end of the season in New Jersey as the season winds down. Again, we got these from John Lowry, and thanks to John Lowry for allowing us to test this product. If you'd like to do your own test, obviously just give John Lowry a call. Get some of these. They're new on the market. Merlin glow plugs, and we've been trying them in Tiger 60s, our 4 cycles. We even had one in the YS one of the days we checked the YS out. Flying the 14.5. What do you think about that Zinger? In the middle? Yeah, not as good as this prop though, I don't think. But anyway, one of the things we did get, we will get 2 or 3 more of these that we haven't had a chance to test yet on here. Because it looks like we're going to have a reasonable day. And we have unlimited energy today. He's 2 cups of coffee ready for about another 100 test flights.
And I'm always glad when we have the carbon prop that it's you flipping it, not me.
Oh, you're such a guy. All right, killer.
A very intense day. Mike has decided to allow me to buy him lunch. Hey, Cardinal man, how many of these Cardinals you got here? Man, everywhere I look there's Cardinals. Brodak's probably making $1 million off of these things.
That one there is the one that you gave me.
Who's Linda, your daughter or your wife? Your wife. What a wimp. What a wimp. Look at this, Mike. He names it after his wife.
I know.
Oh, what a wimp. You don't see any Miss Karens here, do you? What a wimp.
Thanks, Karen.
That's right, she deserves it. You're supposed to name this after your daughter, like Gary Levitz. Miss Ashley, Miss Jamie.
The next one will be,
I don't know whether to believe you, Robert.
Yeah, but she didn't sign it though.
Oh.
She don't even know about it.
Now, as we get back in the shop from a day of testing, one of the things, unfortunately, again, this plane was involved in a mid-air collision when another plane took off its outer wing and stab piece, and we're gonna make an attempt, since I feel like this plane is kind of a little piece of stunt history. We're gonna try to do something that I've never done before, and the thing is, what I'm gonna try to do is replace the wing in a plane. Well, I don't know successfully or unsuccessfully, but what we're going to try to do is cut out, and we're certainly not going to get this done in the next day or so. We're going to try to cut out the whole wing, salvage the body, the tail, the control system, a lot of work that went into this fuselage, and hopefully, well, today we'll have an hour or so. What do you got, about an hour, Mike?
Yeah.
First thing, let's get the motor, the pipe, everything, strip it all down and clean it up. Plane here that was in almost exact similar thing is the whole wing was removed. It went on to live. This was in '92. This is 2000. We went on to get 8 more years of service, and we're not done with it yet. We're probably going to get some flights in it, some 4-stroke flights in the near future. Another plane that had the outboard wing ripped off, Strega, went on to have a 5th at a team trial and a lot of local contest wins and a good test plane. Not sure this won't ultimately become a 4-stroke test plane. And one of my thoughts was, now Miss Ashley of course is still unscathed, but one of the thoughts that I had was, it certainly, if we had a take-apart plane now, and we don't, but we're going to be building a take-apart plane in the future, and in this case, a take-apart plane would save your whole day. Look at the TV screen, Mike. See what's on the TV screen?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey, been there, done that. There's that same header that's on your plane.
Wow.
Okay, so this was both wings were broken. You see the outboard wing is broken, inboard wing is broken, outboard wing is broken. So you only got one wing here. You have no damage to the inboard wing, but still, there's just no reasonable way to do this. And there it is, 8 years later, still flying. So we're going to try to give this the all-American try here. I guess what I want to do is get a brand new blade, and let's cut this right here so we can take this piece out in one piece. I don't want to break it all up, you know what I'm saying? And take the motor and pipe out, get all the hardware out, and then we'll definitely clean it up as the first step, get all the oil and stuff off it. How ironic is it that we're making up a set of crash repair videos at the same time we're doing this? I don't know if this is ironic or not. Okay, we're trying to salvage what we can of the wingtip with the belt sander. Okay? Yeah. All right. And you got a set of cardinal ribs home so that we can steal those. Things we didn't notice, we've been just trimming this off. What we decided to do, rather than replace the whole wing, is we're going to try to build a half a wing and then attach it. We don't know if that's going to work, but if it doesn't, then we'll replace the whole wing. We're going to need to carve a block out here. This is, well, we'll trim that off even too. But you can notice what happened here. There's a big crack in the body. What we're going to do is fill that groove with epoxy, let that dry overnight, because we're not going to get a whole lot done today. And Mike's going to bring the ribs probably tomorrow or the next day, and we'll build up a panel of a wing. And then we're going to try to do some tricky tongue and groove stuff here to get it together. And we'll try to get the rest of this flap piece off. I guess what we should do right here too, Mike, is fill this joint with epoxy and tape this shut overnight. Same thing with this one, tape that one shut overnight too.
I got this right down, so.
Okay, so what you need is the last 9 ribs. You need 9 ribs of the wing.
Okay.
Because we put a hairdryer on it. Okay. Now we'll wipe the rest off with alcohol and a paper towel. And then we want to do the same, let's do the same thing up here, Mike, the way this is broken. And at least we got a straight reference line for working off. Got epoxy in there. Now we need to do the same thing here, Mike. Get the hairdryer, and then we'll tape that shut, and in the meantime we can cut the rest of this flap off. Leave the hinges right where they are. A tape as a rubber band to hold the tension and also taping over that crack where obviously that's going to get sanded out, this crack here. Press that down with your bare finger. Same thing over here, same thing over here. And what we're trying to do is establish the parts of the plane because we need to have a reference line for the wing, and we need to make sure that we're not referencing the wing and the tail is in crooked or one way or another. So when this dries, now this is going to dry, that should be fine. Now we can build that piece of wing.
Flaps I got already built.
You got a set of flaps already built. But now, boy, is this the cat's meow? How many parts? Oh, you just throwing the paper away?
Yeah.
And the main thing is we didn't lose one piece of the Miss Jamie, the now famous, infamous Miss Oh, there's the real Miss Jamie right there, supervising our every move. All right, now we just got to put this aside to dry till tomorrow, Mike.
No more tears.
No more tears.
Look at that old.
Now that one, at least yours, you only have one wing to repair. That one had both wings to be fixed. Anyway, for other people that might or might not want to check out the crash repair videos, there are 4 tapes, and I think when we're done here, there's going to be 5 tapes. Not sure yet.
We done with this epoxy?
Yes, dump it. Just take it out piece by piece. Around the horn, it's going to be difficult to get out, but just piece by piece because we want to have a... Yeah, watch, there's still tape holding that on. Okay. Okay, and this is holding this in alignment. That's working okay. All right, we got the edge trimmed off, and you got the ribs at home. Miss Jamie lives to fly another day. The now infamous Miss Jamie. When you can't get that tubing off, when you're doing this kind of repair, the tubing, the epoxy stays on the tube. Heat it with the soldering iron. There it goes.
Wow. Perfect.
It's all in the heat. And when we go to take this tape off, obviously this is a John Brodak, thank you John tip. Heat it with a hairdryer. Usually it'll peel right up without pulling up a piece of paint. Now you got this block roughed out
No.
somewhere. Okay, just lay it out. Make sure it's the right size. You can marry it up. Doesn't have to be fancy for right now. Okay, so that's another piece of the puzzle. The tube is off. You want to take some of this, Mike. You're going to have to grind some of this off the hinges. Otherwise, it's going to pucker the hinge. Just take a knife and chop some of this off. Or you can actually do it with the soldering iron if you want. Dominic's going to get more tips this week anyway. The heat will take that right off.
Okay, let's do that.
Mike's got his preliminary stuff done. Now what we're trying to do now is get the Sato into our test plane. A couple of problems. This fitting is in a different spot, so we're going to need to enlarge that hole. The holes don't exactly line up. We're going to have to do some Dremel tooling on the holes. And also, see the way the intake is offset to one side on a Sato, so it tends to rub on the fuselage. So we're going to have to do a little grinding or cutting to try to get that fit in there. But the first thing is to get the holes lined up. We need to enlarge them with a Dremel tool. It's not really a big deal to do that. After fitting this up, I needed to cut a hole in the side where the throttle adjuster is. One of the things with the Sato you can do is just take the throttle, put it wide open, and run the adjuster screwed down to lock it in position. You don't need any piece of wire or anything, and this will expose our idle adjustment, which the metering jet for the low speed, we don't need that right now. But we've got the throttle for right now just locked wide open. Because we only want to do preliminary tests, then we're going to have to come up with some kind of a gizmo to adjust it for now. Here's what happened that was significant. The front holes, if you drop this into a Super Tiger 60 mount, the front holes line up and the back holes just miss. So I need to make 2 little half moons maybe on the back of the engine. Or I can oversize the holes by 1 drill size and see if I can just slide it up far enough. And then put those plates in like I use on Strega, because again I want to make everything fit into my test plane with as little grinding and chopping as possible. Added benefit is if you line both of these engines up on a motor mount, the carburetors are exactly even, so you would think, and probably because I think this, it isn't true, you would think we finally have a tank shim where it should be, that it would fit the Sato, the same tank shim would be for the Sato and for the OS Max. Again, I'll believe that when I see it, when it's done. Now that's the amount of grinding it takes. The front holes line up. I've over-drilled them one drill size. And now what will happen is that'll be a good interchange, an exact interchange. I gotta take that cotton out of the carburetor. A good interchange with the Max 70, and with it'll fit right into a Tiger 60 mount. Now, in case I never mentioned that, I make all the planes that I anticipate changing to or trying different motors in, different powertrains. Tiger 60 is the most universal or the biggest of all of them, and when you do that, actually even the 72s, this is a little small, it kind of wiggles around in there, but it gives you the most freedom if you just build a plane around a Super Tiger 60 mount and then adjust your motors with a Dremel tool so they all fit in where the Tiger 60 goes. And that's worked well for me over the years. Make up two little plates, the same as the aluminum plates that go in a plane, that go on top of this. And what they do is they act as two little clamps, like a sandwich, sandwiching in the motor. And that's how I get away with using that bolt in the back. The top sandwich holds that bolt right in position. The way this works is once this is in the plane and there's aluminum underneath, I just add another aluminum. These are all drilled for Super Tiger 60. And what happened, that'll line up over there, of course. And I have a sandwich that I confine the engine. And it really doesn't matter which engine. That's the way I have all the jets installed in the planes, in an aluminum sandwich. It really holds the engine in really tight, too. And of course, then it's universal. You can use any engine. Those plates are made up and installed. The fuel line fits exactly as the Max 70 did. The needle valve hole even lines up. I haven't put the needle valve in yet. And my low speed idle control is right here. So I'm pretty much, well, the way this worked out, we'll be ready to test tomorrow. Put the needle valve in, put the prop and spinner on, we'll be ready to go. This is a photo I just got in today's mail from Gary Hayjack. Gary's in the St. Louis area, and he's been experimenting with a Sato 56. He said he's really had good luck. In fact, I spoke to him the other day, and he was really excited about the idea we were all playing with four-strokes here, checking out the possibilities of using them in competition in the future. But so far, it seems like a lot of people have had a lot of good luck. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this next season shakes out. From Gary Hayjack. This is from Fred Cronenwet from California, who is already using the system, or a variation of the system that we'd like to use. Look at the package of stuff he sent me. Anybody that would be interested in receiving the same package, you can contact Fred and find out what the what parts of it or all of it. In my case, I wanted all of it. I want to know everything. And this is about, I'm sure, that people building scale models or semi-scale models or twins or whatever. Let me show you just what's nice about it. Now, Fred has taken the time and the energy to get all of this homogenized down into this is all. And the reason I wanted this was I want to see if there's any rules that I can, you know, not manipulate, but use to my advantage in the control line scale event. Now, I know they use electronic throttles. Well, guess what else? I mean, they already make electronic handles. They already make all the schematics of how to do it. And see, this is what's nice. Fred is kind of like a windy guy, willing to share everything. Multi-channels for control line. Again, I would suggest anybody just get, he tells you what receivers are usable, which ones aren't, how to wrap the lines, where to buy the wire. I started reading this. Some of the things like the scale documentation may not be of real interest to the stunt guys, but it's interest to me because I want to have this, I'm trying to make as realistic of a model as possible. And again, everything is documented. Everything is step by step by step. He explains what DSC is, what electronic controls are, how to wire everything up. Totally invaluable, totally invaluable. And I just can't thank you enough, Fred. This is really great. He also sent a couple other neat things from Fred. Now, Fred's a cool guy. Over the years, he's sent me many, many cute little things. I want to show these pictures of this model that he has. If I'm reading his letter right, what this model is a relatively large, notice it's powered by a 4-stroke too, relatively large model. I can't tell from here if that's an OS, what size it is. It's a big one though, with the looks big anyway. Anyway, notice what it, it's got a camera. And he sent me a video of what he does. He takes pictures of the flight from inside the circle. Now, years ago I had some video. I don't know if this is the same plane or the same thing, showing all his different battery packs and the different way he gets the juice to the camera, or a lot of this stuff I'm not sure even I understand, even after reading his thing, because I'm not an electronic guy, but it certainly is interesting stuff. One of the scale models, I'm assuming that this is one of the ones that already is using his system, or a system very similar to that. It says Steve, hope I'm not misplacing the name, Steve Devens, Steve Devens, Ryan STA, from a Byron kit. It's a big model. It has a 90, how unusual, a 94-stroke. Anyway, and it uses the DSC controls. DSC is when they send the electronic signals down the wires. We're going to investigate more of this. Obviously, we need to learn, and Fred, I'm sure, will be a big help. It's so nice when people are really willing to share everything they know. Now, in this case, what he did, and what I like about this, these big Byron kits are available anywhere. He's converted it into a control line plane, but uses the radio to control other functions, which he calls it a hybrid. I think that's kind of cool. Well, I want to make a hybrid stunt ship. And anybody that's offended by the fact that, that there are always people that think, oh, gee, radio controls, we don't like radio, we don't like electric starters, we don't like modern motors. You know what? Forget it. Not interested. I think it's more fun having more different options, more different choices. Now, he also sent me some other stuff, some masking tape to try. I'm going to definitely be trying as soon as we, in fact, while we're doing Mike's repair, this would be an excellent time to try this. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff, and we have a video. Somewhere on the video, I'll put a couple of minutes of this. From Fred Cronowet, the airborne video. In the meantime, think about that throttle control. I know every day I speak to people that well, they're just thinking, hey, good luck. Let's hope it works. And then, if it works, we'll make all the information available. And maybe even get other people to try, like Banjock, to try it too.
How's it going, Frank? Bleed off airspeed with that flare.
Lands like a feather.
Love the size. Yeah. Morning, Wendy. Good morning, New Jersey. We just flew the what Steve Davis calls the Phantom. It's my camera plane. Very purpose-built for carrying 35mm still, and we just tried the new wireless video. You can see here. This is the base unit with the on-off switch. We stuck that inside the little area there. And it's got a little antenna here. We can orient this thing any direction we want, like so. This is the same mount I use for still cameras. I had to make sure I had enough power, so I got a pump 94 stroke up front. So the airplane's big. Basically 80 inches of wingspan here, 1,400 square inches, about 12, 13 some odd pounds. Flies very easily. It's just a sweetheart in the sky, very easy to fly. But more importantly, we got the wireless video going, so you can fly all day on 12 ounces of fuel. You can get an idea of how big this airplane is. So a good 80 inches of span, but it flies very easily. 80 inches is about as big as I'd want any airplane to be, but for what we're doing here and carrying 35mm still, it's what I need to have. But from the video you'll have already seen or will see, you can see it's successful. Might even fit on a stunt ship, Wendy. Basically, you can take this camera. This is the antenna. This is the transmitter down in here, and all of this mount up in here is just the lens. So if you took the lens out and put this and this somewhere else in the plane, you might be able to get video on a stunt plane in flight. And it carries 4 AA batteries for power. Front of the float, and it gets a little bit of the cowl, and then when I move the stick out this way, it's actually looking toward me a little bit.
Move the camera one more time, Grant.
It's cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna fly with this. I reversed this so that this post is out of the way, and I might just end up trying to just remove this entirely. You know, to see if I get. What I want to do is get a little bit better, but I want to fly it just to see if this will work.
So did you make that camera? Did you buy that camera?
I bought the camera, but this case and the yoke and everything, I put that on my lathe and machined it out of a solid piece of polycarbonate. It's hollow. Has a back shell back here. This piece back here, you twist that to orient the camera. And if you want, then if you 12 it down, a small copper wire. These two wires right here create a video signal. And that goes all the way back to a downlink that's on this, right here. And then I just pick it up, reconvert it back to video, and put it into my camcorder.
So you fly radio control without the control line?
Right.
So you have a transmitter and everything?
It's a transmitter, but it's not transmitter.
Yeah, I understand that from around here.
Yes.
And the camera. With the servo, that's pretty cool.
I definitely wanted that to work because I wanted it to look around in flight. The original idea on that was to try to...
One cub, two cubs,
2 cubs in flight.
3 cubs.
And I could follow it.
So what did it cost you for the camera and the link up and stuff?
The camera was $350, 70 for the piece of the downlink.
Houston. Most of you know me from scale control line circles, and I'm always trying to come up with something new. And this year, decided to work on a camera cub. And basically what I did was I bought a Great Plains ARF so that I wouldn't have to build the airplane, and rigged it out for video use. And what I have on the wingtip here is a color video security camera. It's mounted inside of a polycarbonate shell that I made on my lathe, so that it's completely waterproof. And I have it hooked up to my radio so that when I move the stick, the housing can move around almost 180 degrees. Okay? And going out into the wing, we have 3 wires. We have a junction box for the video. So there's a video port on the bottom of the wing. There's a line going out to actually move the servo itself. And there's also 12 volts going out to power the camera. And the circuit goes out both wings so that either wing can accept the camera in just a few minutes. You just take the 4 screws, unplug the servo, and mount it up in the servo bay. On the inside of the cockpit here, we have a downlink system. Okay, on the inside of the fuselage, there's a little downlink unit in here that I got from a security systems place. What that does is that transfers the video signal to a signal that can be sent down unshielded lines. And what I'm using on the flying line are these really fine magnet wires that are twisted. There's 2 wires, and the signal goes down these really fine magnet wires to another downlink system that's on the handle. And the output of that little downlinker goes directly into my video camera that's set up to record like a VCR. And that's how we get the video signal from the plane to the camcorder that I'm carrying when I'm flying. And then in flight, all I have to worry about is moving the throttle stick and then the stick, and I can pretty much gauge where the camera is. I know that the camera is looking at the front of the float and the propeller at this position, outside the circle and inside the circle.
There's a better shot of the downlink circuitry.
Thanks to Fred for that footage. That is just unbelievable. I gotta tell you something. If I lived where they had where they were flying the Cubs, that like water landing area, I'd be building. Guess what? Guess what came right before the the Spitfire, the Supermarine, the seaplane with the floats. You imagine doing a stunt pattern and then just landing back in the water. Fred is doing cutting edge stuff. Those guys out there are doing cutting edge stuff. They're way ahead of me as far as developing these throttles. You can see they've got them working perfectly on scale models. Now it's up to me to see if I can make some of the technology they use, all of it, some of it, working on this Typhoon. But imagine being able to land. I don't think we're far from the day when you'll see little miniature cameras in the planes. You can take a picture of your stunt pattern from inside the airplane somehow. It's all cutting edge stuff. It's stuff that takes a lot of time and energy to develop. And I'm hoping that I'm filling my little link in the chain by trying to make some of this usable on control line stunt. And maybe we'll have that in the near future. Hey, maybe we won't, who knows. But again, thanks to Fred. I thought everybody would enjoy that. That part with the seaplanes just blew me away. Everybody that's been in the shop wants to play that 2 or 3 times. I wonder, as 4-strokes become more and more popular with other people in other events, they're obviously popular in RC. I wonder if you're going to see a time when the models themselves become more and more realistic as to the sound and as to features that will be available. We may be entering a whole new world. The problem is somebody's got to lead the way. Somebody's got to do the development. Somebody's got to build the seaplanes and the camera planes and all of the stuff. And then it's up to that person to kind of publish it or get it out to the general public and see if people like it, great. And the people that don't like it, well, heck, nobody's breaking your arm to do anything except build Fox 35 Ringmasters. That's the nice part about the hobby. You can pick the part of it that you like, make it suit your own personal needs. Back to the shop. Well, here we are at the field. We got the Sato 72 in the plane, ready for a test flight. Brian's here with his Sato 56. Jacobone's cutting holes in the sky with his jet. On this yet, Brian? This first time? You got that fuel with a little bit extra oil in it?
Yeah, this stuff I added. It's got about 22-23%.
Okay, now this is what, a 56 Sato?
Yeah.
You could set that rod like at about half throttle. That's what I did.
That's what I got it at.
And you got that big tank for, look at this, what do you got, a compressor here? Air starting system?
Yeah, I got plenty of battery power.
Wow, he's ready for action.
I might want to leave the glow driver on it. They said it, you know.
Yeah, for the first, and run at 4,000 RPM. That's what it said in the 72 directions. Compression all the time when you hit it with the starter. Whoa! Why don't you let Banjock flip it? He likes getting whacked. Macho, macho man. First flip. Macho, macho. Get the tack and set it at 4,000. You're just doing what the directions say. They say
flip the thing starts.
First flip. Be a man. Ah, it didn't start on the first flip. Ah, send it back to the factory. Now Brian, where's your test plane? He's building a unique test plane out of a Cardinal. Making a World War I bomber out of a Cardinal.
And every time I miss my opportunity every time.
You were just lucky the first time.
No, what? It kicks me every time I flip it around. It's the opportunity.
But see, that tank is too high. It's just letting fuel siphon in there. That's what's happening. You got to put that bigger tank on there at the right height. If it's lower, it's okay. It'll suck up. But look at this coward goes for the electric. Put it on back compression. Put it on. You got to put it. No, backwards. There you go. Now hit it. I've done is I've run it exactly the way they tell you in the directions. Even though Brian insists that tube should be going into the muffler, I've decided not to let it go into the muffler. We'll just let it vent out the oil on the bottom of the plane. That'll be okay. In fact, when he went to look in the directions, he couldn't find where it was, so he might have been wrong. Anyway, this is still a break-in prop, a 13-inch. As soon as I get another maybe hour of run time, I'll put the full 14 on and start leaning on it a little bit, but I want to get a lot of rich runs. I really want to give this absolutely every test in the world. They say a break-in of an hour. Well, it sure isn't going to hurt to have a little more, that's for sure. And while Brian has the 56 and I have the 72, we can do some comparisons. Fuel consumption, power, things like that. So it should be, but I'm still thinking of those seaplanes. Was that ever cool or what? You can just see an SB6 coming in, Adamusco building one, Windy building one. Take off through the stunt pattern, land in the water with a throttle. Fred, you're making me think. Anyway, appreciate that footage. That was great. Anything happened to Brian, he's running this DeSato 56 on this little table, which my test stand. He puts a gallon jug, or it's a 32-ounce jug or something on here, and walks away. We come back, it's on the other end of the parking lot with the motor still running. Look at the size of this fuel tank. In fact, he doesn't even shut the battery off. This is pretty good. Now that's a fuel tank. Anyway, now we can get a lot more run time on the bench, save precious air time. He's got his what happened to this? This is going to be the test plane for his 4-stroke program. Cardinal fuselage, carbon fiber gear, sheeted foam wing. You sheet this yourself, Bri?
Yeah.
Okay. John Duncan wing. Oh, that's looking good. Square tips, easy to get the tip weight on and off. Easy to trim. Make sure you make the flaps 3 to 2 so they'll carry the weight. You got the line slider in there? All right. What a guy.
He made those parts.
Yeah, similar to what we all have. This is nice. This will be nice and solid. He's going to make it like a World War I bomber. The 4-stroke bomber options. I expect this will be finished by a week or 2, right?
Das Stroker.
Yeah, that'd be a good name for it.
Yeah, that's
I do to my Cardinal. Can you believe this? You know, I never thought of it. You could have put the motor in right side up.
Yeah.
Because he'll have plenty of clearance. Not that it would matter. It seems like these start real easy. You guys with rough, tough fingers. Nice and solid nose construction. Make sure you're able to shim it. Yeah, you can shim that tank a lot. That's going to be good. Fantastic. Real eye-opening day for the first day with the DeSato. These are the things we learned in one day and may save you a lot of time. The plug that comes with the engine, it runs a whole lot better on a Max F plug. That was really giving us headaches in the beginning. And I remember George Aldrich saying how critical these motors are to plugs. They definitely do like the OS Max F plug, the very expensive ones. And so far I've found no substitute that runs as well. Unlike the OS Max does not like to run with muffler pressure. This motor ran much more consistently with muffler pressure. So again, these are the little variations and things we need to try. Now, one of the things I learned, this prop is the one that Ted had on the Bearcat. And see, this is the key thing. You got to be able to buy them. 14.5. So I need to go buy a dozen of them, cut them down. But the 14.5 on the 72, both the Max and this, seems to be a real good starting point. The tank shim is virtually identical to the OS Max. And at the end of the day, running lean, I could just squeeze a stunt pattern out of 4 ounces. But I think you're better off if you can put a bigger tank in. And this was on 5% fuel. We haven't run it on 10 yet. Anyway, we've learned a lot. But like anything today, the shop is calling and we only get to fly in the morning here. See, now from a test day like today, all of the information that we learned on the Max, we can now compare it The advantage, a tentative advantage of the Sato is it really is 3 ounces lighter than the Max. And right now, after a day of running, a little less than a day of running, I would say the power is equivalent. And plus, I like the fact that we can use the 14.5 Zinger props for one reason: we can buy them. Trying to chase those rev ups down is making everybody crazy. Now we're done with the break-in fuel for sure. The next time we fly the plane, we'll video some flights and we'll get some real runs on it. But it really smooth, quiet, very user-friendly. I think maybe even a little more user-friendly than the Max. Again, the only one that's been cantankerous has been the YS. That's been... Morning, mosquitoes. We ready to do some Sato mosquito testing here? Look at these suckers, they are everywhere. People dying of Nile virus and I'm out here alone with the bug spray. Look at this, you believe that? Wait, we've had some really good runs on the Sato. I really am impressed with this motor. This is, in my opinion, just a little friendlier than the Max, a little bit easier to get right. In fact, this, I've just had the throttle, I've not had to even close the throttle. It seems like on 5% fuel and with a 14.5 prop, it's just about out of the box friendly as can be. It definitely, after a day of testing, I've come to the conclusion that it much prefers running on the muffler pressure, but again, I'll do that test on a hotter day and on a colder day and see what the range is. Now my purpose today is I'd like to get at least one flight on video, but the first thing I want to do is I want to get some idea about the needling range. Now most of these, I don't even use the needle valve other than to find a spot where it's too rich, a spot where it's too lean, and come in somewhere in the midpoint, and that's usually about a quarter of a turn of range where you can go click, click, click in, click, click, and not much changes other than the mixture control, and then the mileage of course changes. Now we're just squeaking by, and I really should the next time I have the tank out. I would say for this engine you probably want to put a 5-ounce tank in, not a 4. And right now I feel like this is, and if I can get a couple more gallons of testing on this, this would be probably one of the primary candidates for the Typhoon. I'm going to have coming real soon, possibly within a week, we'll see if these people ship out same day, an infrared throttle control that needs no insulated lines, and it adds a little less than 2 ounces to the total weight of the plane, which I hope we possibly could locate behind the motor somehow. And Dave Cook is very excited about it, and I'm going to, as soon as I get the information, pass it on to Fred Cronenwet. Sharing this information is one of the things that I've really been enjoying lately. Advantage of an infrared system, no other line. That's the nicest thing, no insulated lines. And supposedly Joe Bescher, who lives real close to us, he might even be a big help. They were already flying RC planes with these infrared systems with pretty good reliability, so I'm real excited about it. I think within the next week or two we're going to have one in-house, have one on this plane, and be able to come out here and taxi the plane, and I'm sure it's coming up real soon. I'm very, very excited about it. Be our last flight of the day. I'd just like to get some of a flight on video. We're at the end. Again, please share the tapes with everybody. find out John Brodak stocks 14.5 Zingers and 13.5s. So we still have, and I'm going to go through my props. I really don't have. I wanted to get at least one of the flights on video. This motor seems like it has a lot of flexibility and a lot of range, so I want to go through all the props that work on the Max 70 and see just which ones match up, which ones are about the same, which ones are faster, which ones are slower. But I have a gut feeling when the day is over, the 14.5s, and some of them cut to 13.5, 13.25, depending on the size and weight of the plane. But the motor is real happy with these 14.5s, the same way that a Fox 35 always likes a 10.6 kind of a thing. A Tiger 46 likes 11.5/6. There's always a prop, and then you can fine tune it. A prop that the engine really is happy with, fine tune the diameter length, maybe thin a few blades, put some Phillips entry in or whatever. But we'll have a little bit of time left here. I thought we were going to end the day because it looked like it's going to rain, but looks like we're going to get a couple more flights in. Rev up 14.5. Yeah, the bird's going to eat your earring. Jamie, it's your birthday Sunday. Tell everybody how old you're going to be.
17.
And your dad's buying you a new Mercedes-Benz.
No, a horse.
A horse. I got something better for you. There's your birthday present right over there. See over there? Go over there and open it up right now.
Oh.
You got to be faster than that. Pretend it's a horse and you're taking his saddle off or something. This is Jamie Kajeski, formerly known as, officially known as Miss Jamie, unwrapping her birthday present.
Oh my God, no way. You had a big picture of that.
Now, you know how you always put a hole in a wall in your room, like there's a hole from when you get mad at your father, you go punch the wall and you have to cover up the hole?
Yeah.
Now you got something you could really put on. You drive a car through the wall.
Oh my God, thank you.
You like that?
Yeah.
Let's see how it looks. See if Peeps like. Well, it looks just like you.
That's funny.
Hey, and I tell you, we're on the way to finishing and fixing that plane. You'll never know it's been crashed. The only one I'll know is Peeps. So when do you get the new car now?
No.
Ah, what do you mean no?
I'd rather a horse than a car.
You'd rather have a horse?
Yep.
Oh my God. Mike, don't buy her either one.
That looks great.
Yeah, it came out real nice.
Does it? Looks really good.
Thanks to Noel Drindak, I asked him to come up with a formula for figuring out how short to make the nose on a Typhoon, and I thought that just my gut feeling was 8 inches would be it. Well, he sent me this very detailed way of figuring it out with the weights of each component part, their moment arms. 3 pages long. But I want to tell you what the answer is. When you're all done, you shorten the nose to 8 inches. So Noel and I have both arrived at the same place and time with 2 different methods. And thanks a lot, Noel, to confirm that the Typhoon will have an 8-inch nose. Also got some membership cards for Don Dixon's new Control Line Club in Arkansas, the ground crew, and he's made me an honorary slave, honorary contributor of video to his club or something, I don't know. Anyway, I will hang this on the wall in the shop, Don. I am certainly a ground crew member. Hey, nice logo, by the way. I think what you guys need to do is get some t-shirts going here. Some nice t-shirts. Just a thought. Anyway, we're at the end of the video, and we basically have the information confirmed in our mind now about shortening the nose, even though I think even if you didn't shorten the nose and just left it at 10, I don't think you'd be real disappointed. But the reason is when we put some kind of control system for the throttle up in the nose, that's going to add another 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces. I'm not sure where all that is going. We have several people sent us information on insulated lines, and the most challenging of all, and I'm going to meet with Joe Bescher next week and hopefully videotape the guys flying infrared controls in RC, indoor RC, and see if we can get a unit made up that'll be powerful enough to work outdoors. Not sure where that's going, but that's one of the things coming up in the next week, I hope. This is just shaping up to be, and believe me, if it sounds boring doing all this work on the engines, I'm trying to do everything I can so that these engine packages will pretty much be